Got a final piece of Karen's garden that she doesn't have yet, but we're going to get it today. She wanted well, it's a planter, a bicycle planter. And we had to look at several before we found one that we wanted, but we're going to go pick up the one we really wanted right now. Only we're going to have to do a little wire brushing and painting to bring it up to speed. So after 20 hours of spray painting and wire brushing, Karen's bicycle comes to fruition. Now we got two jobs to do today. One of them is to get this bicycle into the garden and get it spray painted. Get rid of this is our old serving tray. We got a stainless steel serving tray. I got to put it together. Of course, when you buy it in IKEA, it comes in 1,000 pieces. But I think this bicycle's really going to look pretty cool when it's done. I'm just waiting for it to dry. I'm going to give it one more coat. What do you think, baby? Your husband's so talented, isn't he? Ha! Husband of the year. I can. Yeah, it's a nice color. It's a nice color. Now I gotta have plenty of paint left over. I could paint the pots if you buy pots that color. I don't know. What color are you gonna make the pots? We got plenty of paint left over. It was a smart thing buying those extra cans of paint too.
Because they won't have to again.
Yeah, I know. Or they'll change the color. That's going to look cool in the garden. Well, I don't know what part of the garden she wants to put this in, but why do I get a feeling we're going to spend the whole evening tonight after supper working in the garden? Working on the railroad. Working in the garden. Working on a fish pond. Work, work. Everything that flowers and blooms is a lot of work in this yard. This is the thing I love about IKEA furniture. You get this big giant thing, it comes in a box, 1/10 the size, and there's 1,000 screws holding it together. Now I don't want to say anything, these are Swedish directions, look at this. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Oh yes, Mr. Bill. Oh, got a problem? Call IKEA. Oh, can't figure out how to buff out Gorham's polish? Oh my God. This thing is unbelievable. That whole thing, it's amazing that they can get that in a box. Now who says the Swedes can outsmart Windy at will? That actually is a pretty nice unit. Good. Not that it's so good, but the other one was really gone after 10 years or something. Anyway, we have been promised by the weatherman that these clouds forming with no chance of rain tonight or tomorrow. Absolutely no chance of rain tonight or tomorrow. The wife just couldn't be happier with her new acquisition. Now, if only we could get a flying day tomorrow. I'd be so happy. Sometimes early in the morning like this, and it looks like we didn't get any rain last night. Sometimes early in the morning like this, when I see that sun coming up, I've had a nice cup of coffee out here on the deck, listen to my birds, fed the fish, and I just think, oh my God, I've died and gone to heaven. This time of year, Rutherford is like no place else that I've ever been. And oh my God, this bicycle yesterday, what an ordeal. It's painted, it's ready. All that's left is to feed our wonderful fish. You think they're hungry? By the way, that little fish that the kids got me for Father's Day, oh yeah, he's starting to get in with the regular fish here. He was kind of a fraidy cat for a while, plus he's so small. Anyway, the objective today is we have that new spinner on a plane, and we've got the CG pushed back, and we'd like to kind of look at how that's going to work out. Or if we come home and the bicycle has fallen over because the squirrel is going to make a nest or something on it. I guess we're going to see. It looks like it's going to be a heavenly day with thunder showers in the afternoon, so I'm going to get packed and loaded and ready. Oh, early in the morning, the beautiful tree-lined streets of Rutherford. Boy, I'll tell you, this puts me in a good mood to get some flights today. Some flights and some exercise. Seems like since we've had the Swedish girls here, I've put on a few pounds. But nothing a couple extra flights wouldn't solve. By the way, check this out. Look at this. You don't think that tree was getting ready to come down, do you? Man, unbelievable.
Where bikers stare at cowboys who are laughing at the
When I talk about tree-lined streets,
now get out of here alive.
there is just a special feeling when you get here in the morning. Those first couple hours before the air goes bad. Wow. And we're taking full advantage of it this year. We've had an awful lot of good mornings.
I've heard the burritos out in California could fly higher than the birds.
Looks like the animals got to the garbage cans.
Roger McGuinn
Look at that field. Mikey, you've outdone yourself.
It was like nothing I'd ever heard.
Now, we had some flights yesterday with this, but the air was so puffy and bad and hawky that I really don't think we accomplished too much. But again, we got dead air this morning. Maybe that's not going to be in our favor either. But I do want to, I want to pursue this just a little bit more. I also brought 2 extra props that I had cut down just a little bit. I've got one cut to 15.5 and one cut to 15. And I thought this might be a good day to, well, we're going to see. Now, every morning and every day here is just a little bit different. Even though sometimes they look redundant, they're not really that redundant. And I don't know what it is about this field early in the morning like this, but it is, I don't know. I get up, I have that cup of coffee, and I look around and I just think for about 3 months a year, or maybe 4 months, I don't know. It is like being in heaven here. I don't know about the other months, and that's why I kind of like the idea that we have a building season and a fly-in season, and we go from Palisade Park to here to back to Brodax. We do a little traveling. It's, I don't know. But it looked like we had some potential yesterday, but the air was so bad. And when the air is real bad, I don't like to get too cute. I wasn't even that cute when I was young. And I'm not getting cuter as I'm getting older, that's for sure. And I had this thing with a bug flying in my eye, so I put tons of bug spray on today, thinking I'll beat that system. And a lot of times when I'm done with a flight, there'll be 1,000 bugs across the front of the wing. I fly into a firestorm of those bugs. But no matter what, it's still better than not flying at all, that's for sure. Now let's see, this is going to be the first start up in the morning. So let's see if we can make this easy and predictable. Some days he's in a good mood. Some days I'm in a good mood. And it's, in my case, because I'm always trying to test stuff, I really do like having a field to myself. When I'm done testing stuff, which is almost never, then I think, well, then do some socializing. But for right now, this will have to do. At least the air is flyable today, unlike yesterday. We're probably going to get a few flights in. That's going to stay in tight. I'm trying to go about this very methodically. It feels like the plane has just a little more power steering than it does with the little bit heavier spinner, but what I think is going to be to my advantage is somewhere down the road this is just going to give me one more choice that I really wouldn't have, because I've got those other spinners lightened up to the point where they're eggshells, and the back plate is a third the thickness, and got all that stuff lightened up. This gives me an extra 1/4 of an ounce. And I'm sure at the end of this day, I'm going to give myself, 4 or 5 flights to kind of feel this out and see if I can get used to it before I make any other change, any change that's going to either mask over the shortcomings. But what it does, it makes the plane fly or feel a little more like it has power steering. It has a very light feel with that nose weight out. Now, especially on things like the wing over pullout, where you're really, with the nose weight in, you have to really hit it. This is, well, gives you more choices. And choices are good. it looks like, and you can judge for yourself. All in the eye of the beholder anyway. But it's certainly starting to feel more and more comfortable. Now if we can finally just adapt to this by the end of the day, I'll really feel like we accomplished something. Now, it doesn't mean I have to use this CG with the CG back, but what it means is I'm going to have this choice in the toolbox, and I'll have a little bit of flying on it so I know what I'm dealing with anyway whenever I need to use this. I figured I'd get a couple more flights and then try those props. Now, the idea of the smaller diameter prop would be in really hot weather, and of course it's not hot right now. In fact, the air density is 95. It's real good. What it would give me is just unload the motor just a little bit more. And with this particular motor, we just have, of course, we're running it at about half power or whatever. So we can just tap in and have a little more anytime we want, just by running up the RPMs. And boy, it is special here this hour of the morning. Wow, this is a unique. I don't even know how to describe it. flight, it just gets a little more comfortable. The problem is we don't have any real air. This air is stone dead right now. And I've got to be real careful I don't start flying through my own air or something crazy like that. But as I thought would happen after, you know, a certain amount of flights, every person's different. Kind of getting used to it, kind of getting comfortable with it. And I like everything. If we just could get some good air here, that would be nice. But even if we don't, I'm satisfied enough that this is one of the changes I wanted to be able to make anytime. Actually, anytime the weather changes, or anytime we have to start dealing with unusual conditions, or even just flying back home. If we get days where it's down in the air density's down in the 80s. well, it's already started to really warm up here. So we're really getting that swing in temperature from early this morning to now. Quite a different scenario. In fact, the air density is starting to drop already. So we're going to get that wide variety that we're always looking for. And to be honest, I'm getting kind of comfortable with this. I'm going to, I'm going to consider leaving this on the plane for now until I find some compelling reason to take it off. It does have more of a power steering feel. It doesn't seem to have hurt level flight or tracking at all. And yeah, I won't really know till we get out in the, in some heavy air, in some air that it's really blowing, because that's where having the CG back is a little bit of an advantage. But we'll certainly have this as one of the choices for sure, for absolutely sure. Now this morning, the sun is just rising up. The birds are chirping. The coffee is brewing. Are the fish hungry this morning? No, notice they're not hungry at all. They're mating. I'm going to have more babies. Oh my God. It's unbelievable. We've had like a banner year for baby fish here. And I expect it won't be long and we'll have our next batch of babies. We've had 2 already this year. Anyway, nice way to start off a day. But the real thing we want to do today is get the van loaded up, get up to the field. There's one of the babies right now. And it's funny, we have them all different sizes now. Medium, large, extra small, and I'm not born yet. Karen got last night some new plants for her bicycle. She's happy now, see? You have to have the exact plant that fits the bicycle. And of course, the biggest thing, the farm, Karen's little private farm. When they just get in there and fill that feeder. You feed the fish, you feed the birds, you feed yourself, and then you feed the Spitfire a nice dose of road jet fuel. Anyway, we are really getting ready. This looks like it's going to be a banner day.
Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per
Oh
hour.
boy.
On Thursday, except for a few afternoon clouds, mainly sunny, a stray afternoon.
We got the next 2 or 3 days. Just should be beautiful at the field.
Here's our 7-day outlook.
Fill a feeder, Wendy. We had a really unusual thing happen yesterday. We were out here checking out the birds, and they have a couple of batches of new baby birds, of course, fledgies everywhere. And there's a fledgie out in this last group that has no tail. And I've been looking for him. He looks so out of place. Oh, there's our dove. He has no tail. I guess we're not going to see him this morning because I don't want to lose any of my good air. But you look and see how long the tails are on these. They're normally have a reasonable length tail. This guy has no tail. We're definitely going to check him out later today. And he was flying. He flew for just fine. So I don't know what that means. Not sure. Maybe he's not in this group. See, these groups, they kind of come in droves here when they know Wendy filled the feeder. Where is that little guy with no tail? And see this baby right here? Watch this. Watch this. This baby hasn't figured out how to get his nose into the feeder and get seeds yet. Oh, mommy, feed me. Oh, mommy, feed me. Oh, mommy, feed. What happened to me? They knocked me off my feeder. Oh, no. I'm telling you, if you don't have a bird feeder when you're having breakfast, you're missing one of life's great joys. And no matter what the weather is, it's always a great flying day for my birds. Anyway, off to the field. We've been fledged, coffeed, fish are fed, and it looks like a jewel of a day. See the wings flapping? See, watch the wings. This is a baby. This guy's just been born. Just fledged. He's a fledgie. Now, he can't figure out, see? The feeder is right here. But watch, Mama has to... Sometimes Mama has to feed them even. I think they milk it, I think. Or is it, do they egg it? I don't know. Now looks like again. What? I should count my blessings. We have beat everybody.
I had my guitar on my back.
Oh yeah, looks like we're gonna have a nice day. None of the trees are moving. The grass is mowed. The robins are eating worms. Oh. Hey, Robbie Rabanzo's here. That's Robbie up on the fence there. Robbie, you're gonna have to abdicate the flying field here for a while.
And them sad old songs coming out of
I don't
them
think he
speakers
cares.
was solid country gold.
Look at this spectacular sunrise we have here this morning. Oh boy. Yep, I've said it a million times. Early in the morning like this is a very special place. Now my objective here, I got 3 props. I've kind of narrowed this down to the 3 that I like the best. This is a 15.5. I have a 15 and a 16. And what I've been trying to determine, and I've been trying to determine it real carefully, is where these props work the best. If you look at the air density right now, any of them will work. But what's going to happen later in the day, when this drops down to 90, I'm going to need the smaller diameter prop, probably the 15, just to get a little more bite in it. Now, if this doesn't do what I want it to do, what I want to try, and that's where I want to get some square one flights here, what I want to try is, I have a head from the other plane that's got 15 thousandths milled off it, so I can gasket it up or down just for a little higher compression. And since we got plenty of fuel in this setup, we got fuel to burn, so it's not a problem. In the red plane, can't do that because we run out of fuel. So what I always try to do, of course, in the morning is start with a square one flight. A square one being what we were working on yesterday or the day before, so we know if we're going forward or backward. And I've had all 3 of these props on the plane at various times, and what I'm trying to determine is which one of these is going to be the best for various conditions. Now usually at Muncie it's from 90 to 80. Usually around here it's from 90 to 100. And just knowing where some of these break-off points are, I think someday or sometime or whatever is going to be to our big advantage. We have really taken advantage of the fact that this field is, my fellow circle burners, except for Bob Kroon, they like to sleep. They go for these sleep sessions, and so, and at Brodax we were right around 90, so we have quite a few choices. We were using the red prop at Brodax, and that seemed to be dialed in just about right, at least for those conditions. But again, that's the little competitive advantage we'd like to have somewhere down the road. And of course, as always, we will see if he's going to be a good boy today. Or, how about this? How about being an excellent boy and not biting me today? Don't give me any more scars. Enough scars here, baby. What we'd like is for you to just behave. Be so nice. Now let's see what the air is like right now. Now, what's always impressive to me is I take a square one flight after, well, yesterday the air density was way down. At the end of the session, it had really gotten hot. Now it's relatively cool, relative probably being about 65 degrees, 64, 65. The air density is up, and the prop that, we're at 95. The prop that was working so well yesterday in the hot weather is getting really racy here. So, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to richen this up one time. Now, the reason for richening up, I want to find out where I lose the motor run, and at that point, then I have to change the prop. Sometimes I can just back it out a little bit and still stay within the motor run range. But if not, if it's still too racy, and these props, these are all the same. All of these props are the same. But what happens is, under various conditions, there's just a little bit of an edge. And I think it's safe to say that right now this one would probably be best between 90 and 80. So I will, when I change the prop, I'll mark that on the prop. Now, the whole idea of doing all these tests, well, there's really a couple of ideas. Number one, I need the exercise. And I'm trying to stay in shape. And my 3-mile walk every day, combined with if I can get a good part of a gallon of fuel burned, it seems to keep me alive. But I guess most of all, the hardest thing to figure out here, or the thing that's difficult for a lot of people to figure out, let's say you narrow it down to 2 props even. One for when it's 90 to 80, and basically one for when it's 90 to 100. Well, even that's a big advantage, because there's almost no point in time, in our year anyway, where that air density isn't changing all over the place. And if you try to do it all with one prop, what happens? You compromise both sides of that. It's like having to have snow tires that have half treads. Well, they're useless in the summer and they don't get you out of the snow in the winter. So, I don't know if that's a good analogy. I'm not sure you need an analogy. What you need is props. But we do have what we're looking for, and what I'm striving for here is to just have as many choices as possible. And when I do, it seems like then I'm way ahead of the game. Now, the objective here is I'm just going to try to run this just a little bit richer and see if it falls off of the 2-4 brake. And if it does, then we got to switch props. Now, because the grass is soaking wet here in the morning, I found a great little tip, something maybe you can use. And actually, it works so good, I'm very impressed. Now, see what happens because Mikey's mowed the grass. When I'm done with a flight, I walk out the handle, and so the handle's always wet. So I got this microfibers just to get the handle dry, and if I squeeze the microfibers in between the handle, it puts the handle back to where it's got the right feel. It's not slippery and greasy feeling. That's a nice little tip, and I always have microfibers for waxing planes and cars and whatever anyway. And just by squeezing that, it gets all the moisture from normally from the grass off. And I clean the lines because of the way the field is here and because of the conditions. I clean them after every flight. So after a few flights, what I've determined is this prop is going to be good in warmer weather. It's a little racier than I'd like it to be. But again, these are all subtle little changes that maybe you don't even see, you just feel them at the handle. The 1/2 inch less diameter lets the motor unload more when it 2 cycles, the same as taking out a head gasket would. But I think overall, and again, we're around 95, overall, I'm going to mark this prop up. You can see I've got this one marked up. This is the circle burner 16 inch. I'll swap the props out, and what's nice is I have all these decals, and each one is painted just a little bit differently, so I can identify them as time goes by. And again, all I need to know is which prop is going to be just a little faster, which one is going to give me a little more drive, which one is going to make it a little more controlled. And they're only a 1/2 inch difference, and they're the same prop, but like all wood props, everyone's just a little bit different. And I would assume it's because of the grain in the wood or the who knows what. And you don't have to know. You just have to know that, you know, it's like you're not launching a rocket to the moon here. What you are is carving a piece of wood that works. And it looks like that 16 4.5 just is a good marry to the power output that we have on a 90. Now what will happen is later today, when this drops below 90, and I think it's right at 90 that I'll swap them. We'll go back to having a little racier prop in the thin air. Now granted, a lot of these changes are very subtle. But even if you don't make the right choice, let's say you have 3 choices. You can leave the prop alone, or try to put on a prop that you've pre-tested as a hot prop or a cool prop. Well, if you do nothing, that's not the worst thing. But if you put the wrong one on, if the plane's going too fast and you put more pitch on, or a less diameter where the motor unloads more, in other words, what you don't want to do is go in the wrong direction. Well, the easiest way to avoid going in the wrong direction is know what the right direction is. It sounds like it's an oversimplification, but you'd be amazed how many people, and I could make a list of people that I've just gotten the right prop on their plane, and it dramatically changes the plane. It changes from going too fast, too slow, to any number of soft here, soft there, racy here, racy there. Because the beautiful thing about a stunt motor is the last thing in the world you need is way too much power. What you need is controlled power that comes on exactly when you know it's coming on and shuts off exactly when you would want it to shut off. And just having a wild combat pylon engine is really not your best friend here, especially on a wing over pullout. I always love that when it burps lean. And one thing about this particular ship and particular setup, with the square one prop, it's got just a little friendlier, I don't know what the right word is, a feel. The motor's a little happier. It doesn't get as racy in a 2-cycle. And I'm not sure what even the difference would be in terms of lap times or speed, but it's the feel. It's just like when you have a 10.6 on a Fox 35 or a 13.6 rev up on a Tiger 60, a 14.5 rev up on a Rojet 76. It just marries up nicely. And luckily we have, we bought so many of these at Rodak, we probably have the market cornered, but it's amazing that when you take a 1/2 inch off the diameter, it immediately gets racy. Boy, it immediately says, oh, good. I'm not towing a boat anymore. So it would seem like maybe one of the things I should do if I have some spare time is make one up that's 15 3/4, kind of an in-between. But that's how you're constantly cutting the difference in half. Taking something that's a little too big, a little too small, a little too big, a little too small. Too much tip weight, not enough tip weight, too much, and always cutting that dimension in half. It seems like that's a really easy way to do it, a non-scientific way. And the best thing of all is it works every time. You never have to worry that it's not going to work. What a concept, it might work. All right, be a good boy today. We need to get flights. And I know if supposed to be a bright sunny day, and it's looking like it's all clouding up here. But who cares? We've already gotten some flights. And that's the miracle of getting an early start. In our part of the country, early in the morning, the first couple hours are almost always flyable. I wouldn't say good. Dead air. I've kind of abandoned the whole idea of doing round inside and outside loops in the same spot because the air right now is not only dead, but it's moving dead. A little breeze to your back, a little breeze to your face. But it's still better. I'm still getting flight time. And I'm still getting to sort out some of these props that always amazing to me how critical propellers are. You could have a whole plane perfectly trimmed, 1,000 flights and whatnot, and get the wrong prop on a plane. Take all the fun out of flying. And we also have the other thing just happening. The mosquitoes have gone into what we call the mosquito season here. Where if you don't have bug spray on by the gallon, you could die of it. Well, I think from this day we got a lot of good prop information, a lot of good do's and don'ts, and I think we're closing in on having, I guess the last thing I can try here is get one more of these props and make it up 15 3/4. Again, always cutting the difference in half. And if we have some spare time in a week later, that'll be a good worthy project to work on. This is Robbie Rabanzo. Hey, today we found out some really exceptionally good news. It's only going to be the beginning of next week. We're going to be able to use the Palisade Park site from 6 in the morning till 9, which is just perfect for our use. And it'll give us 2 fields to practice in. And of course the air is totally different at both sites, but thanks to Rich Jacobone, we're going to have, within a week, we're going to have 2 separate fly-in sites. And 2 is always a lot better than 1. 2 robins are better than 1 robin. Look at these fledgies. See the fledgies shaking his wings? See? He's so lazy he can't go down and get his own seeds out of the feeder. So he makes his mother go down and get the seeds and come up and feed the baby. It's like little bird behavior here. Now look, here's the mother. Oh, feed the baby. Oh, yeah, it's your child. You didn't raise him right. Oh, I gotta fill the feeder again. Oh, these fledgies with the little wings shaking. They're yapping. Look at these. Getting fed. Hand-fed birds. Not sure why I enjoy their company so much. They're fledgies. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. Anyway, it's such good news that we're going to have our fly-in site early in the morning, and that's all. Oh, as I say it, Karen's coming home from her adventures. And it's time to start our yard work. Now, one of the real joys of our pond is that several of our friends have ponds, and you might remember the dogs that we were babysitting this winter for our friends Art and Mona. Well, they've moved to a new house and they're starting a new pond, and they invited us over tonight to come see if they made any progress on their they had a pond at the other house. I think they even took the same fish to the new pond. But so after dinner tonight, we're gonna see them for dinner, but then we're gonna run out and basically we're gonna check out their pond. So as we get ready to go to Art and Mona's to see their pond, progress on their pond, check out Karen's garden here. Look at the size of the pumpkins she's got already. Look, I'm getting watered from the neighbor's watering me. Ah, I'm getting watered. She's got pumpkins. Everywhere you see a bloom, there's going to be a pumpkin. And down that end of the garden, tomatoes, peppers, zucchini. And we're about a month away from saying goodbye to the whole front of the house. We've already had the architectural plans drawn for the porch, and about 1 month they're going to start the work. Our Bruce Hunt unauthorized dove at the feeder. Unauthorized. Hangs out all day because Windy is a fool and he fills the feeder for her. Or him. This is costing me money. I'm going broke feeding this dove. With this time of night, this is unbelievable, her garden. I had no idea it was going to get to be this good. Whatever this is here, a big, it looks like a pepper. Yeah, the size of that pepper growing here. And corn. Corn as high as I am. It's already got the little fur. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Tomatoes. We're going into tomato business here. Pole beans. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. What am I talking about? But Karen really makes this backyard enjoyable. We really are proud of the work she does back here. But now it's off to Art and Mona. And our neighbors were here the other night and they loved the bicycle. I'm not so sure about the bike. But it certainly is a lot of fun. And if you enjoy exercise, you'll love having a garden. And this is the part I like. When all the work is done for the day, all the flying is done and the Spitfire is all polished and ready for the next day, just lay back and take a nap. And I spoke to Richard Oliver at length today. He's already flying every day on his multiple flying circle. He's got his own landing area for Piper Cubs. And we're already starting to lay out what will become our trip to Texas at some very near future time. Texas. Texas. Too hot in Texas. Stay here. I don't know. We will be planning a trip in the future, that's for sure. It'll be number 5. Fledgies everywhere. Karen's been to their house, but I haven't. So this is kind of a surprise for me. And we have to turn by Olga Street. Olga. Believe it or not, my late mom's name was O-L-G-A, Olga. So we can't forget where to turn. We turn on Olga Street. This is the beautiful town of Clifton. Reuben McBride lives here, John Misk. Olga Street. Olga. Nice area. They got tree-lined streets here too.
And we'll go all the way around the lot.
Now, again, this is the first time I'm here. That's a nice piece of property. But they're working on their pond. They took their fish from the house, and we haven't seen the dogs since we babysat them in the winter. Got a little butterflies going on here. Echinacea. We have 2 cats. Nice big cats. Big cats. We're coming, we want your landscaping.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I haven't seen you guys in so long. Hey. Hey.
Hey, children.
You forget who took care of you.
Yeah, right?
Forget who took care of you.
That looks beautiful.
Quiet.
No humping.
Hey.
No, thank you.
Hey.
He hasn't been doing that.
Hey, meow.
It's the living room.
Who fed you all winter? Who fed you? Don't give me that.
No,
I'm gonna lick the. I don't need. Hey,
Oh,
get out of
okay.
there.
Because that's
So-
the back of the.
Meow mix.
Confusing with the ears.
Meow mix.
I just put some.
So the
milk-
dogs can stay out in the backyard.
Yes, and they do.
Oh, you got a bunch of fish.
I just put some mellifics in
Yeah.
because where is it? Ice. The one to the right there. He apparently got himself a little gag. See up by on his.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He must have snagged himself on the rocks. So we put the mellifics in there. The precaution. Eric's going to come back and we're going to have a waterfall there, waterfall there.
Well, you just need more rocks,
And the
right?
rocks- yeah,
You're
but
gonna
he's
rock it
actually
out.
Make like a pond and then
Oh, I got
you
you.
know a ledge rock for the
Yeah. How's he doing with his pond? Nice.
Oh yeah.
This is real nice.
And this is our bog
And you got a bog for plants?
for plants and for frogs.
Oh.
Tadpoles in here that seem to be thriving.
Yeah, we come home and all the things are lit up at night. Even the corn is glowing in the dark here, but tomorrow's supposed to be a great day. Red skies at night are a sailor's delight. Let's see if the weatherman is right.
I ain't working here no more.
Well, we had a nice night at our friend Art and Mona's. The good news is this time next week we'll be over at the Palisade Park site, but we'll also have this one on the weekends. So I guess it's the best of all worlds. But even better than that, it looks like another good flying day, and we're getting spoiled a little bit here. There's that same robin on the same fence. I don't get it. Looks like the same guy over there. These robins early in the morning, coming to keep Windy company. And they're all out here, and boy, it wouldn't... It's dangerous actually until they start to get used to the sound of the noise. Hey, look at the day we have though. Look at that day. Oh my God. Another, looks like we're gonna have another good one. Well, we certainly are getting some flies in the last week or so. And we'll take it. We're not going to complain. We had some time to work on some new props. What I'd like to do today is record some flights from the tripod. Look at some of the errors I might want to correct in the near future. There's 3 or 4 big ones that jump out at me. I'm still working on the overhead 8, still working on that wing over, pull out and pull up, among other things. And well, I'm looking forward to going back to Palisade Park. Just because it'll be a little break moving here every day for a while. A little variety. I wanted to work on this fuel consumption thing too. Let's start right now. And what happens is with the extra fuel in there, the plane is just a little bit nose heavy for various maneuvers like the wing over pull out. So just give me one more choice. Well, this was about as much good session as we could have, but old men like me get tired early. But I did want to look at this. I want to review this and look for some of the, see if I've got any improvement on the wing over track, the, among other things, the triangles not getting too flat, intersections on the 8s, and most of all that overhead 8. And we'll see when we get back to the shop. Well, one thing that was pretty good today too is I got to work on the fuel consumption, and I'm always looking to, boy, it was a very smart move on my part, well, for anybody, to make the tank bigger than it has to be. And then when push comes to shove down the road, we're taking 10 cc's out right now. I'm not sure if that's about an ounce or what, but always better to have a bigger tank than one that's a little too small and you're always fighting to try, have the option of running out of gas. Now it also gives us another option that we haven't even tried yet, is if we ever have to, and I would think when the air density got way down below, say in the mid 80s, of putting, that's what Richard Oliver does, he just puts 15% fuel in the plane. But you got to have a big enough tank capacity, and luckily with this we do. Now I want to get back to the shop and look at this, see if I can pick up any errors or anything that's worth worth working on in the next session. Now tonight we have a real special treat, something that we look forward to every year. We're going to go up to Sergio Zegras' field and watch the electric planes fly, pick up some more timers for our inventory. Always a lot of fun. Those guys have a great group and they always have a lot of fun. The only problem is today it's really windy. I don't know how many of them are going to be putting in any real flights. And you may think like control line stunt ships are always subject to the air. Well, you know what? The electrics are too, but it's always fun being up there, always fun checking out their stuff. And the only problem is to do it, I have to get everything out of the van. But you know what, instead, I think I'm just going to take Karen's car. That's funny, sometimes she agrees with me. And sometimes she says, take my car, forget about it. I guess we're going to see if she's in a good mood today. Now we come here a couple of times a year, and this is a beautiful place. It's not a great night for flying. A wind, it looks like some thunder showers are coming in. But it's $10 a year to join this club, and you get to use this gigantic facility that's behind the trees. And it's super well maintained. It looks like they're doing some work here, and I'm not sure what it is. But there's already guys out in the back flying. Now, if we do get our electric control line plane, this would probably be the most obvious place to come and fly it. And here's a switch. Usually the sign would say no model plane flying or no dirt bike riding or something. No golfing. Beautiful. Now I've been here on other evenings when the weather, well, once the wind calmed down. I've been here where there's been 50 or 100 people flying it all over, all at the same time, and all kind of activity, and it's been pretty cool. Well, we got here about an hour early. I wanted to do my walking here on a track and check out the action. But most of all, I wanted to scout out this area to see you're allowed to fly as long as it's electric. You can't start a gas engine. I'm not sure if I like that or not, if I'm militant or what. But anyway, I'm thinking I'm going to walk the whole premises. It's about 30 acres of mowed grass. It's beautifully mowed, taken care of, and you're free to fly electrics here. Obviously, they don't even know when you're here, so that's the good thing. And on one end, they have like kind of a bicycle track that the kids ride on, but boy, it's a nice area to fly. Oh, if only we could get a circle out here. This would be unbelievable. But we can fly electrics. I see there's a problem with wild, vicious animals here. A wild, vicious robin. Wild, vicious rabbits everywhere. Yeah, he looks vicious. He looks, just take a leg off in a heartbeat. Hey! This is an electric chipmunk. He looks like he's having fun. Now with our field, we don't have to deal with wild predators like this. There's just wild predatory rabbits out all the time. Now it's funny because they're not making any noise here. You can get right up on top of these guys, almost like our black squirrel. And this is like a Richard Oliver house here. Look at this. He's got his property ends obviously where the white fence is. He's got his gazebo there for having lunch. And then you walk out and here's your flying field. Maintained by the county, of course. Not at your own personal expense. Various picnic benches everywhere. And what flying field wouldn't be complete without a few Robbie Rabanzos? Well, I wish this was a nicer night, but we definitely got some funny weather coming in here. We got another wild beast out on a flying field here. A guy like this could just jump up and bite your ankle. Amazing. And as I'm walking around the perimeter of this electric flying field that they have, there's a nice stream on one side. I guess if you wanted to run a model boat or something, a model sailboat in here. Water looks crystal clear. It's just animals, little domestic, little animals everywhere here. It's a cool place just to hang out even without a plane. Oh, it took me about 45 minutes to walk the perimeter of this. It's quite a big place. The ever-present Robbie Rabanzo Robbins. Oh. Whoops. As they're testing the air, the first guy is here with a plane to test the air. Well, nothing happens. Shut the motor off. No going to get the fuel and battery. It is kind of fun. And I have to say one thing, this group, and we've been here many times before, this group really knows how to relax and enjoy a pleasant night. And it's such a beautiful sight. The sight is just unbelievable. You can see how relaxed all the people are that are just hanging out and enjoying. People bring their wives. I just look how close he is to this big house. They don't even know he's flying. Don't feel bad, Ertnowski. They don't even know when I'm flying. Robbie, I wish I had some worms to feed you. I like these bird movements. Look at that. The animals aren't even intimidated by these electric planes. Ooh, that's delicious. Oh boy. Oh, lucky you. Now they got two up now. This is a much smaller one. And just like in Control Line, the bigger ones are way more realistic, at least to me anyway. But it's a unique little world, and it's very relaxing, very enjoyable, and a lot of these guys that do this are very creative. Sergio happens to be one of them. I guess it's too heavy for him to carry back, so you just taxi it back. Hey, you're polluting the atmosphere. Shut that gas engine off. He was like walking a dog, you believe this? Some of the ones I used to like to see here, they had a lot of flying wings. They're like deltas. They are really cool looking. Can't do that with stun ships. Carry 2 planes and a lawn chair. That's difficult to do. Just a shame we couldn't have had a little bit nicer weather tonight. This weather really looks like it's turning sour here. I don't know if that was what he was intending. Let's see, forget to turn the motor on. Ah, forgot to fuel it up. Dead glow plug, there you go, there's the reason. Gotta put that Thunderbolt 1.5 plug in there. Now, I was amazed last time we were here, Sergio had one of these that you can see the tail is flexing in flight. They're made out of like rubbery foam, but the wind is really blowing around now. We're really hitting some, it's gonna go south here very soon. See, this is what happens. We get the first 2 hours in the morning, absolutely beautiful every morning. There hasn't been a morning unless it's pouring rain when I wake up. So I've taken full advantage of that, get my flying in early in the morning. At this time of the day, it's usually pretty iffy. Funny that imagine trying to fly this control line with it. See how it bends like that and everything? Everything twists and bends. Yeah, it doesn't seem to hurt the way it flies. Look at this, you can actually see it bending. I think that's cool. This looks like a bigger one. Sergi said he'd be here at 6. 10 to 6. Not here yet. This is pretty rotten weather here. I'm surprised they're flying these at all. There goes the engine. Usually it's kind of cool. They throw them and then hit the switch the motor's on. They don't launch them with the motor on. Or at least the ones I've watched, that's what they've done. That one took right off. And Sergio has made the inventions for some of the little servos that these little mini planes use. He's got a lot of the patents. I think he said he's got 21 patents on some of these little micro servos and all kind of things that they use in the world of electric. One of the very big electrics that they fly here. I love how these things bend. And when the air is better than it is today, they really are aerobatic too. Especially those little, they don't have one here tonight yet. They don't have a little, one of those Delta things. I'm just hanging out here and enjoying the Mother Nature end of this. This is some beautiful sight. $10 a year to join this club. I guess they got to start it inverted. No, keep in mind these are really lightweight models too. The wind really does blow them around. And it's blowing right now. It's pretty funny they're doing the things that stunt flyers do, throwing the weeds up in the air. Oh yeah, that'll work. You're supposed to know where the wind is blowing if you're a real pilot. You feel it in your ears. Now this one's got landing gear. They don't even have to hand launch it. Wow. Don't get any of that in the Venturi. Wasn't it amazing that that video of the Bush pilots, the short takeoff and landing? I think I had that on recently on video. Was that on the internet? They take off and land in the length of a plane. That looked pretty. I don't even know if these RC guys can do this. I guess he's gonna hand launch it or something. Cool, takes off under his own power. And most of these models here today look like typical high wing trainers, but I've seen some, they had a scale amphibian here, and they had those deltas, the twin pusher deltas, which I thought were pretty cool. And of course we're right in the flight path for Newark Airport, so there's always something going right overhead. It's not that high up. You know, here comes the party time. They got the cooler full of beer going, and they're starting to get in here now. Don't step on my lines, oh no. Now, if I can get Sergio to flight control line, I know he's itching to fly. Joe Bescher too.
Oh, this
Does Joe Bescher know how to fly control?
control line.
This is heavy?
No, this is not a line.
See, pretty soon you're gonna have to come to my house and show me how to hook this whole thing up. Too many wires.
You want to fly this?
It's windy.
Too windy for it.
I'll fly.
Oh, it's breezy,
How
yeah.
well it's going to do?
Too windy.
Mine was going backwards. Awful.
Yeah.
About another hour, right? What time's it get nice here? About 7?
Oh, it depends on the days.
Yeah, it
Some
really
days,
does.
by now, it's...
By our field, every morning till 9, 10 o'clock, it's like heaven. Not one
Where's
day
that?
in a month I haven't been able to
Where's
fly. In Lincoln Park.
Oh, a little dihedral, no polyhedral.
Comes down.
What, you have 2 wings for the same plane?
Yeah. Well, I don't have the other one here. This came with a polyhedral wing.
Right. So it's easy to fly. That's the whole idea?
Right, yeah. And then they came out with a plane they called the Super Miss, which they put ailerons on, and I was able to order just a wing.
Well, I'll make a deal with Sergio. I'll teach him how to fly control, and he could teach me how to fly these. And the loser goes to Fuddruckers and has to buy the other guy dinner. I got this on video, too. No, some night when it's calm, Sergio he'll give me the flying lesson.
It's getting calm now.
Yeah, it is. That's for sure.
I have a feeling I'll be a slow learner. You know what they had out at Brodax, too? Those electric helicopters were neat.
Yeah.
Here's the guy right here.
Oh,
Here he is. Way, Joe Bescher. Hey, how you doing?
Fine.
Look at that belt buckle. Holy crow.
I'm due to get a hold of you, buddy.
I'm here.
You're a little ahead of me.
I'm at your service.
Hi, Benny.
I'm here to serve the elders in the community.
That elder stuff. What's with that
The gray-haired elders.
You behave yourself, Wendy.
How you doing, Joe?
Behave yourself, Wendy.
How's everything on the top of the human race
I
pile?
gotta tell you, it's funny. Of course, I'm putting together something. I want to talk to you.
Yeah,
I
was going to meet you at Teaneck that day.
No. Wait. That had to go because of the reasons I gave you. But finish what.
I'm going to give away some copies of this Park Flyer magazine that the AMA just came out with. There's actually some control line stuff in here, but this is the first issue, and the AMA, when they did the shirts, they sent me a bunch of these to give away. No better place than right here. These guys are Park Flyers. Uh-oh, Joe Bescher's got his jets. Oh my God. Now we're in big trouble. Now we're in big trouble. No, it's not. You guys are paid entertainment. Play your cards right, I'll give you a piece of that 4th of July cake.
Don't forget to send me the money. Don't give me that paid.
Yeah, I'll give you a free copy of Park Flyer.
Cranky.
Bob Hunt has a column in there. John Worth.
He has the small stuff here.
Yeah, it's cool.
She writes about me all the time.
All the little electric motors and stuff.
Yeah. Good.
RCRC Club.
Yeah, they're all starting to get in here now.
Try to do fights up there.
Yeah. Still breezy, huh?
Yeah, it's still breezy.
Well, I can only stay about another half an hour because tonight's pizza night.
Tonight.
You know, with the 4th of July, I can't miss a week without pizza.
Because tomorrow is
Airplanes that you don't have to worry about.
Oh, Bescher's got obsolete electronics. I knew it. I know it. He's got all junk they recycled or something. Pop for some new equipment.
I suggest you go behind the bush.
Okay, did you pass out the bicycle helmets?
The older you get, the more miserable you get.
If you have any helmets, wear them now.
Everybody's getting behind the fence.
The place is on the field.
Oh, man.
Channel 40?
No.
Anybody on Channel 40?
There are people over there.
Nobody?
Turn it on. You have a switch.
Oh, it's a mini strike.
Is that the right transmitter?
Watch out for that tree.
Turn it on? Yeah.
Yeah, there's cars in the parking lot, you know. Anybody got a new car?
The last time he had the ME, he went up and he went right into that tree. That's what I said.
Oh.
Joe, just watch out for that tree.
I don't want to fool with all those people.
He doesn't hit trees. He only hit people.
Yeah, you could lose the field. Little folding prop action here. I've never seen that before. Obviously, it's for electric only.
I need one more rubber band.
Actually, this dog is electric powered. This is one of Sergio's little inventions. You're sick of those dogs that eat and you gotta walk them. You just get an electric dog.
Absolutely, it's closing February the 1st.
You promised pizza. What? You promised pizza.
The dog jumped like he was gonna bite the plane. That was pretty neat. I never saw that before.
A flying bone.
Yeah, a flying dog bone. There you go.
What I do is
Hey, stay away from those planes.
Woof!
Put your helmet on.
All right, is the moment at hand? Oh boy, here we go. All right, Joe. You heard of that show Axemen on TV? Here we go. Sergio launches. Seatbelts fastened.
Anti-aircraft guns.
Too much lift. You got too much lift.
Yeah. That makes a better electric plane than the power.
Don't jump, don't jump.
Sergio, give me some down elevator, will you? Down elevator. 58?
Very smart.
And Frank could get you up the other one.
His is a lot faster than the orange.
Wow, 3 planes in the air. Haven't seen that in a long time.
Put it on the ground.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I'm glad. I think it's just been so long. I've seen so many people show up.
Oop.
Whoops.
Roll out of the run. I'm takeoff.
Yeah, that's one I just.
Oh, it's a twin. Look at this.
See how nice this one is? Huh?
Yeah, show it to the dog. Give him a close-up view of it.
General 45. And 46 in the air. 36? Yeah.
I think that may be like wind up. Carlos is flying that thing.
Carlos?
Yeah, well, it's slightly different. It's got.
I mean, as far as wing load, I mean.
Matter of power and weight ratio.
Not bad, huh? Isn't that a nice one? You know, you have to pulse it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, he's got a flat bottom wing on that.
The trees are going to catch it.
Oh, you're not the berries blue.
That thing flies good. That's what made it electric.
You know, this is the kind of stuff I like.
The only thing I changed on is I put lithium batteries in. It's got the same motor from day one.
I mean, I know it's.
That was a good flight.
Hey, Tom, come over the field.
If I wanted to get.
See the wire they got between the transmitters so he can. Sergio's going to give the guy like a flying lesson.
Problem is I can't film it and toss at the same time. Oh, it's made of. Oh, okay. But I want to catch it on video then.
Let's go on. He insists on going on. Yeah, me too. You got more space. I'll bring your camera along. Or you got it with you? What? No. Oh. All right. You just get out by the bush. That's nice. Oh, that's my old one. That's
Oh, a little rare bear.
back when I was first learning. Yeah, like 7 years ago.
I destroyed
so somebody was selling one of those, so I picked it up sort of to relive the good old times. What is that?
got this one back up again. The rare bear is up there flying somewhere.
Yeah, but you don't have any weight, Sergio.
Yeah?
This thing is much heavier than yours.
This?
That's much heavier.
Much heavier than this? I don't think so.
Oh, it is.
motor,
I don't know about
this motor, which is the smallest one you get without going to micro, is all you need on this airplane. Okay.
You got the same system over there?
A 3S.
Well, the air never really got a lot better, and we're headed out. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. We got to prepare. We're going out to a nice big party. It was fun seeing Sergio and fun seeing the electrics, as it always is.
They named it their 2008 Green Car of the Year at participating dealers.
Well, today's the 4th of July and it's a rainy day. It's raining on and off. We won't get any flying today, but we have something even more fun. That was a great night with Sergio last night too. He is one very cool guy to spend an evening with. Oh yeah, we'll have to sample these. These are 4th of July cupcakes?
Yes.
Oh yes. Do the birds approve? Oh, they'll definitely have one.
Look how cute.
Yeah, that's good. We're going to be going out to a little party this afternoon over at one of Karen's friends. Fellow worker and friend. All right. Yeah, I could have one of those for lunch before we go.
I'll have one for you.
Yeah, one? What good is one cupcake?
I made plenty.
One cupcake is like, forget it.
I made plenty.
Got her little cupcake holder. Now see, they have a little detent, so they kind of sit facing outward. Oh yeah, that's going to be nice. Very nice. I bet the girls from Sweden, if they were here, they'd be they'd be going, "Hey Karen, we like cupcakes."
Oh, cute.
Yeah, very nice. Again, I'll have to sample a few of these because
To make sure they're good enough to take to
exactly
take
make sure they meet my high standards of cupcakery. Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. Down at the flying field last night, Sergio had little cupcakes for his club the 4th of July, so but not like this. These look more tasty.
Be hard with this one on top to carry it.
No, you take the top one off when you carry it over there.
Yes, I will.
Just leave it up for display right now. Very nice. Oh, they're gonna love these. And who cares if they don't? I do. Nice. This out. You think it might be a the world's ultimate Harley. Look at this. Posed right in front of a ship with a radial engine. That is very cool. Now that's one of the coolest. I've seen a lot of motorcycles powered by like the Boss Horse, Chevy powered and Ford powered and whatever. But that is unbelievable. Now I just wonder how they get. I'm trying to look at see some of the details. I'd love to see how they did this. That's going down to what looks like a standard transmission. See, a normal Harley would be turning that. It is pretty cool. Now even if it didn't run, it just looks cool. Like, but if it runs, can you imagine pulling up to a stoplight and has a an 1800 horsepower radial? Where do you put your feet, by the way? I don't see. And I'm sure you don't need to shift anything with this much power. That's for sure. Although I wonder about that front brake. I wonder if that's adequate for stopping an engine that big. Anyway, that is from Bernie Trent. Now Bernie has always been sending us stuff, and we always enjoy it. But this is probably the best one yet. Now as we're headed off to our 4th of July party, look at those cupcakes. Now, how many did I have? I only had 2.
You only had 2.
I left
one more for you, though.
Oh, well, I'll have to burn it up by flying extra flights tomorrow. But it's not a nice day for the 4th of July, but it's just tough for us. Right, Enzo? Of course, right. Just not a nice day. Well, we're headed out on what amounts to be a really foggy, rainy morning, but it's supposed to clear up later. I don't know. What's going on over here? This is not a good omen. Not a great way to start the day. Ooh, there's a fire engine up there. Not sure what this is all about. Well, we're getting detoured away from... We're going to take a little extra to get to the club field today. Yeah, I guess it's something really serious. Hell of a way to start out a flying day. And anyway, we had a great party yesterday. We ate all of Karen's cupcakes. Had a lot of fun with her friends. But we got to get back. We have 2 more days of flying at the Circle Burner Field, and then we're going back to Powell Park. Assuming we get some weather. I'm looking in the mirror. Wow, that's something going on there. A lot of flashing red lights. And you can see with the fog, there's really no way to tell if it's going to rain anymore today, but we're trying to stack the deck in our favor and at least get a couple of flights, 2 or 3 flights. But you never know. When you go up to the Circle Burner Field, it's always an adventure. Now, from looking at the puddles on the way up here, I think there's been a lot more rain last night than I thought. It rained more up here. And I just hope we don't have a water issue at the field. We can from time to time. This field goes underwater. Or the puddles get so big that it's just dangerous to fly. Or inconvenient at best. Well, anyway. Let's see if anybody beat me here. It doesn't look like. I get the number one place on the starting grid. Nah, it doesn't look too bad. A lot of times when you pull in here, this whole part of the parking lot will be flooded. Yeah, we'll see. Always an adventure. Always. Yeah, these puddles are not bad at all. Always an adventure here. 2 more days. Now, I wound up getting a couple of flights this morning, but there's static in the air and I'm starting to get shocks back here, so I'm packing it in early. And Bobby Krug brought up his new plane, so at least we're going to maybe do a little bench trimming. These guys are getting shocks too. So I think we're just going to spend some time bench trimming Bob's new Strega that he's got here. It's a better day to do this than to fly, because if you get a shock like I got in Texas, boy, it isn't, and in Coxsackie too. And I think the reason I get more shocks than most people is I'm sweating a lot and my feet are always wet. I have a terrible problem with foot sweating, feet sweating, and I'm just grounding myself out here in this wet grass.
It's car clear.
Yeah, it's automotive clear on this. What Bobby has, before we go anywhere, we're going to tape the hinge lines, of course, and he's got some CA that dripped out on here, but I'm not sure. You don't have any of that to bonder with you, do you?
No, I gotta go buy it.
Yeah, buy some from Linda's and keep it in a toolbox. I wouldn't try unless, see, if this was dope, you're definitely not going to take it off with acetone. But maybe car paint, you definitely, you might have a shot at it anyway. Yeah. All right, flip it and we'll tape the hinge lines. Without tape, it's going to be a bitch to trim it. Now he's got 1.25 ounces of tip weight. I'm thinking we should start with a little bit more. Hinge lines are all taped, hinges are oiled. We worked the controls for a little while. He's got a set of lines that's cut down about 1 foot from what it normally would be for the first couple flights. Yeah, I guess we're ready for the maiden flight. He's still got to get the decals on it, but we get a flight on it. It won't fly any different with the decals on it. Now, we did some work on Stephen McBride. Well, I'm trying to help him with a problem he's got with this. And it resolved that the needle valve was just loose, and as you turn it from rich to lean, it would turn, the whole barrel would turn. But now, I mean, here's the problem is the setting that he was using before is the wrong setting, and wisely he took a run that looks like it's on a rich side before you get a lean run on a relatively new motor. Anyway, if the needle valve is loose, if that body's spinning, it can really make you nuts. And there is static in the air. Believe me, this is high-risk stuff flying planes here. I'm glad the Spitfire is in the car. These guys are playing Russian roulette here. And the way you're going to know if that tank vent, if something's not working, you'll just see a puddle of fuel under the plane. If it starts siphoning, then you know we got to wrap the fuel around the top, the line. Pulling fuel up. It should be dripping out of there by now. Now, silly question, did you put the tube to the engine?
Yeah.
There should be fuel coming out of there. In fact, one choke is all you need with these modern engines. One or two maybe the most. And your finger's not getting wet? Yeah, you got nothing. Let's see what's going on here. Let me flip it over.
There's nothing going in there. 1, 2, 3. Want to take that cowl off?
The needle valve's loose. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Make it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Take the engine out. Let's fix it. Needle valve spinning around. That's why you have nothing. Is you tighten the needle valve, it's shut, and then it's spinning the bar.
Right.
Okay, the second one today. That's easy to diagnose. Anytime you got a new plane, there's always something. See what happened when he tightened the needle valve down, the needle valve was spinning and it just turned the spray bar. No fuel is coming out when you choke it. So I know the needle valve is shut and that's the problem, but when you back the needle out, it just turns the spray bar. Always something to do on a shakedown cruise here. Now the Rojet, the little brass nuts that hold the spray bar, I have wrenches for that. Luckily, you don't want to use pliers, but I want to take it apart and I want to mark where the hole is so we can always get the hole back into the good position when we get this back in place. And I always have those nice little Sears Roebuck wrenches. Now Bobby's got to get the pad, and then we're going to do this right, take the engine out of the plane and get it done right. Always something on a shakedown cruise, I know that. So Stevie had his needle valve in wrong, and this one's loose. So we're in a needle valve business here today. And unfortunately we got fuel in it, so when you take the cowl off, we'll just put forceps on the fuel line so we don't have to deal with that while you're doing the rest of it. Now this is what was happening. You see the nut turning, the whole spray bar is turning. But to correct this, we've got to take this out, because we don't know where the hole is, and then if we don't get the hole lined up facing dead forward, it's going to add one more trim problem into this. Okay, now we want to scratch that, so when this is facing directly forward, and I'll show you where that is, right there, you want this to have a scratch so you can see it. You got a little file or something? And then we could put this, actually you could put it in and just hold it, but it's better if you have a scratch on it. Even one scratch with an X-Acto knife or something, just so you know where that hole has to be facing forward. Another thing, anytime you take the needle in and out, put a drop of 3-in-1 oil, ordinary 3-in-1 oil, so you don't booger up. There's a little nylon seal in there. You don't want to booger up that seal. Now just be careful, just put a scratch so we know where that is. Watch you don't cut your... Okay, all you got to do is hook up the fuel line and we'll see if it siphons now. Now it'll be interesting to see if it siphons. Now it should still be fueled, and if your finger gets wet from choking it, you know you solved that problem anyway. We don't know if you did yet or not. Oh yeah, big difference, right? Don't over choke it or you'll be sorry. Your little fingertips are going to be hurting. Oh, he's got his rubber stick. Good boy. What do you got? Battery going bad?
That's right, I just second in control.
I know you got the fuel delivery that you should have now. You should have choked that once and your finger should be soaking wet.
On top.
Contact, okay. You got any lighter fluid? Maybe this is, maybe because we haven't started this yet today. Give it a blast of lighter fluid. Oh, you don't have an air filter in here. That's what makes it's going to be hard to start without an air filter because you don't keep any fuel in there. Go ahead. You know, the fuel stays in the air filter. Pick one up when you buy Linda's. That's, oh Jesus, where are you going with this? That's plenty. You know, find out if you got the prop on tight with an automotive wrench or not. It doesn't fly off and hit you. Right, so the issue was that the spray bar was loose. That's taken care of. That's good information. Maybe everybody can use. First flight, the wing doesn't look terribly out of level. Of course, we're not going to find out until he's... Yeah, it's a brand new tank. There's almost guaranteed some stuff going to come into the filter. But it's not going ballistic yet anyway. Yep, there's stuff in the filter, and what's happening, it's working its way up into the spray bar. Guaranteed there'll be stuff in that filter when he lands. Now, one of the things I always would rather do, if it was my plane, I would rather do it is, first off, is ground run the plane, which, because of the way this day played out, it really didn't happen. But this is what happens when you put a plane in the air the first flight and crap gets in the tank. That looks like it turns nice. It worked its way through after about 2 minutes, but it tells you that, yeah, they're going again with this issue with... All right, good first flight. That looked pretty good. How did it feel? Good? Good. So we went on a day like today when we were able to solve a couple of people's problems and get a new plane in the air. I think we always put some data in the database, and it's always something we're able to share very easily and very conveniently through the videos.
Continuing with our
And we're down
history
at
of
the Red Bull Air Races
aviation.
today.
We go now through the 40s, and we're going to
May
come up
31st.
to a new series of aircraft.
There they
These
are.
are going to be the Canadian
Right
Harvard
behind Joe
Aerobatic
Lewis.
Team. These aircraft, a series of 3 ships. Coming up next from Show Right High in the Sky at an altitude of 3,500 feet. It is the and lead pilot Greg Terrell and Eugene Loya will bring us through a series of aerobatics set to music at Show Center. Get your hands together. Dedicating today's performance to both Canada and Detroit. These vintage aircraft were built in 1941, some 67 years old.
Here comes one for a solo pass. Heading right into the wind here. Here he comes, got the smoke on him. Awesome. Very cool.
Let's watch as Danny pulls through. Throws an arrow through the heart.
Alright, they kind of regrouped at the end of the river here.
All Harvards together in formation. Show Center. Check out the big blue.
Pretty good. A little Led Zeppelin going. Lined up nice.
They reposition in-trail for the in-trail roll.
Sweet. Little wiggle. Windy.
Interesting fact as you check out on the replay the big blue. These aircraft positioning to an in-trail formation. Check out the in-trail roll.
That'll be good. Sweet. Woo! That's tough.
I'll tell you what, those guys were working hard, particularly in this wind. It was interesting to watch them go through those formations. I've never seen that team before. Our friends to the north, I was very, very impressed. We'll see them again tomorrow. Stick around for racing for sure. Come back tomorrow and see even more action.
starting to inflate the pylons. Of course.
The pilots have to deal with track elements like a chicane. They have to complete half cube and 8 maneuvers. The challenge is to fly fast and clean at the same time. Red Bull Air Race, only the best can win.
Well, Mike, those are the rules of the game out there, but again, these guys have to pilot that aircraft going 230 miles an hour.
The pilots of the Red Bull Air Race have to fly through a technical and tight track with high speeds over 350 kilometers per hour. They have to find the right balance between power and sensitivity, where precision is key. At a height of only 15 meters above the ground, the plane has to pass tight air gates in different maneuvers. There are only a few meters between the wings and the pylons. At such high speeds, the pilots have to operate in dimensions of millimeters. They are steering with a very sensitive control stick.
The faster you fly, the more sensitive this airplane reacts. If you fly like at 400 kilometers an hour and you just move the stick a little bit, the airplane just
they're going to be going here in a little bit.
On the other hand, if you move it just slowly, the airplane moves slowly, it does exactly.
Detroit River looking across to Windsor, Canada. Down towards the Ambassador Bridge.
Outside influences are equally possible.
There they are.
The prolific Edge 540.
Now the engine 540, you know, was originally the first one. The prototype was built in 1993. It's a, you know, it started out its life as an unlimited aerobatic airplane. Now they've changed it to an unlimited race airplane.
One of the key things about the Edge 540 is it's modular. We can take the tail off, we can take the vertical stabilizer off, the wing off, so we can actually interchange parts and make better parts on the airplane.
The airfoil on the Edge 540 is still a symmetrical airfoil, which means it's basically the same on the top as the bottom, which would be, you know, great for aerobatics. It's probably not a wing that's been optimized for the Red Bull Air Race just yet, but I do see that coming.
The effective Extra 300 SR.
This plane is it's the first real race plane, and it's for me it's a prototype. It's very nice to fly with this plane when we want to do a very short reduced turn.
The Lycoming 580 engine, and it's quite big engine, but also the plane is quite heavy.
This one, it's only with a pencil-matic wing, with a special design to try to do a special turn, very short reduced turn.
The aircraft everyone is talking about, the MXS.
There's not a huge amount you can do, I think, to the MXS to modify for racing, because it already was a very clean airplane. It can get pretty much around 220 knots ready level, which is quick. It looks clean, great lines, but slightly aggressive in my point of view. So you know, it looks the part. It handles incredibly well. It's quicker than my MX2, and of course the question is it going to be quick enough to beat the best engine?
You know, I think it's pretty cool now, Mike, that things are in.
Sí, porque está todo borracho.
We're going to be racing today at 3 o'clock. It's going to be an exciting race as we have the qualifying round. Shot to make it into the zone race tomorrow. Slightly after 3 o'clock, we're going to have... Very high. They call that high altitude. He's going to be flying that aircraft literally 50 knots below stall speed. It's very loud. Looks like we have the super red pass. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, nearly 700 miles an hour. Oh my God.
Míralo, dice que bueno, es mejor que los aviones.
Sí, está haciendo su show.
Sí, es que te dan la cerca.